Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. If you have not heard the news, we are keeping calm. We are staying local. We're always Baltimore Positive around here, as y'all know. I've been getting around town here on the phone lines, but it feels like an eternity since I've been in Catonsville. I had Evan Brown on last week from State Fair. Obviously, Don Moeller's on all the time. We're all sort of sequestered, and we're talking about not being able to see our kids or grandkids, all that stuff. I need a pizza. And our dear friends over at Franco's in Catonsville, one of our favorite pizza places on the west side, Lou Weinkam, he and his family got involved in this. I've heard the story, but we have not broadcast the story. Lou, I know you through the attorney space and having some state issues for people like myself who lost my mom a couple of years ago. First off, how are you? You safe, sound? Everybody okay in Catonsville right now, Lou?
Yeah, everything in Catonsville is fine. It's a little emptier than it usually is. People seem to be taking notice of the regulations since Governor Hogan last made that proclamation earlier this week. But everything's safe over here. My family's staying in, and I'm kind of the person who's the go around and get everything and try to keep one person, at risk, and then everybody else is going to stay safe, and I'm fine doing that.
Well, man, you've had a community law practice for a long time. Everybody in Catonsville knows you, and every time I'm in Catonsville, it feels small townish. And maybe it's just because I'm hanging out with Moeller and everybody's a cousin of his in Catonsville. But I would think at this time, and this is what I've talked to so many local people about. First off, you get to be our age and you've navigated some stuff. You've been around for 9/11. You've been around for the stock market crashing once or twice in the 80s, 10 years ago. We've all navigated things. If we've owned the business and made it this far, we've all overcome some adversity. But certainly this thing has created challenges, instant challenges for anyone that owns a business about not just how to get a pizza in and out of the oven, but unemployment and legal issues. And you're a lawyer. Boy, I mean, your phone must be ringing off the hook because people are looking to people like you for help right now, right?
Well, absolutely. And one of the things that I do that people are really contacts me quite frequently in the past week or two is I do a lot of wills and estate planning, and some of the people who've put this off for years, and I always tell people that I always had, if I got a nickel for everybody I saw who said they were going to come see me, I'd be retired about 10 years ago, because most people put it off and they say they're going to come in, and something like this forces people to say, I really need to take action. So
and I have time to do it, right? And all of a sudden, that concert, that Pearl Jam, that lacrosse, that kids, whatever it is, it's gone, right? I mean, we all look at our calendars and say, the hell am I doing tomorrow? I don't have any meetings. I better put somebody in here. I better do something because I think all of us have a lot of time. And this is a nice time to do that life checklist thing that I had to do twice when my wife almost died in 14 and 15, kind of on the fly, and things you learn. I think along life's journey that this might be a good time to check out your insurance and to do all of that because you have the time to do it, right? That thing you didn't have the time to get around to doing, now's the time to do that.
Well, that's exactly correct. And for one example, I had a client who got caught out of the country, came back in, and they were self-quarantined for 2 weeks and called me up and says, hey, we've been working on this for 6 months. We're going to take care of it now. And so we've been corresponding through email, phone calls, and getting the documents lined up. And I've been doing a lot more online work than I used to do since I'm a little bit more old school, but I have adapted to new procedures. So I'm able to intake clients through emails and distribute information. And my staff usually makes fun of my typing, but I've been forced to become a better typer and distributor of information because I've been keeping my staff mostly out of the office, for safety reasons, for their safety, and rotating schedules, so they'll come in at different times of the day or different days of the week to try to knock some things out.
What was your first impression on all this? I mean, I feel like I was with you having a pizza 5 minutes ago. I remember you sent me home with a white pizza. I ate it for 3 days. I mean, the notion that life would become this different this quickly, I don't know that any of us could get a grasp on it, but I mean, I was watching what was happening in Wuhan, and I remember when we were together, we were like just literally discussing the beginning parts of, we were with Harford County Executive that morning, as I remember. Barry Glassman was with us, and we were just starting to feel the effect of it, but I think 48 hours later, everything got shut down.
It was absolutely, I do remember having the pizza with you at Franco's with Don. and talking about, what's going on and how this is affecting everything. And I think a couple of days before that, my daughter Gretchen had given me a little bit of warning about this, and I kind of paid attention to it, but I didn't pay attention to it as seriously as obviously we should have. But I do know that since the time we've been tracking it here, and I've tried to stay ahead of the game at my law practice and at Franco's to, make safety for the employees, safety for customers. And, unfortunately, in the beginning of it, a lot of clients still wanted to come in, and I did for a few days, and then I decided that we just need to shut down for the safety of, personal contact.
For everybody.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
Absolutely. And the same thing at Franco's. We've, done a lot more curbside. We've got, all the protective measures in there for the staff as well to try to keep, safe. It's a small place, but we do try to use, safe social distancing in there as well and wipe everything down. And we actually started doing that for a week or two before when we first got a notice of it. So I feel like we've been good about getting ahead of the curve, but I just don't know what that means in terms of stopping that curve. But we have certainly made every effort to do that.
Being Catonsville, Lou, people know Franco's, and they knew it before you owned it. You knew it before you owned it, right? And I would think all of these local places that are local institutions and local places, whether it's Catonsville or whether it's in the middle of Iowa, right, that when things are shut down, people want their local places, and they want that comfort of the food. We've had crab cake places shipping crab cakes, but then there's the whole, well, should I get in the car? Am I going to go over there? I've been sort of chunking things, on a day when I'm going to get groceries, I'm going to make 3 stops and get back and have my mask on and have my gloves on. And I'm expecting fully to be living this way through the 4th of July. Like that's how I'm getting my arms around this, because I think it's been mishandled at the federal level. I feel like it's coming to Florida next month. Just from what my eyes see and from what the education on this has told me, and infectious disease. And I don't know that 2-3 weeks ago we were together and we thought, well, maybe I have to shut the shop for 15 days because that's what the government's telling me. I would say at this point for all of us, I'm going to get one of your pizzas soon because I'm not going to be sheltered for 90 days, that I'm going to do that. But then it's, how do you keep your place open? And I've had a couple of places start to be open, and then for the safety of their employees, and then to say, how long can we do this? But there's also this part where people want to support you. They want to support the kids that work at your shop, the employees that are there. They want to tip, right? I'm hearing a lot of that from places, that the tips have been extraordinary because people are trying to take care of people, and there really is a balance for all of this, right? And I want your pizza right now. Just talking to you, I want to come out and get one.
Well, thank you for your support. I will say that you just said was spot on. The very first couple of days that this happened, people were coming in, and the delivery people and the takeout, where the tips were just unbelievable. And the comment that I heard over and over, and it strikes me even to this day, was they thanked us for staying open. And I'm always trying to be thankful to the customer because I appreciate their business. But they were like, no. We appreciate you being able. We love this place. We've got to come here. You've got to stay open for us. And it was kind of enlightening to me. I'd never really thought about that because I'm just looking at it from the business perspective of, we need to sell product. But people do look at Franco's as an institution in Catonsville when it was started by my friend Jimmy Ferletti. And that feeling and the closeness has been terrific for us. And we've been blessed with our pizza oven has been cranking out. And I want to apologize to anybody that couldn't get a pizza or had an hour wait on Friday and Saturday. We've just been swamped, and we can only fit so many pizzas in there. We're doing our best. And so
that's an amazing thing for you to say, right? Like, and I'm hearing that from all sorts of, I'm hearing the same story over and over again. And maybe it's because I'm talking to these successful, awesome places that you would expect to want to be successful and awesome even in a pandemic, right? But everyone has said, my customers are coming in, they're tipping, they're thanking me, they're making me cry, they're telling us how important we are to the neighborhood, and we need to stay open, and we can't be closed, that people want something that feels family, literally, like the extended part of their family. And I think that we're all, as business people, and I'm certainly feeling that with my big mouth out on the internet and people saying whatever they're saying to me about my thoughts about how the government has run this, both the praise I've given Larry Hogan and the damnation I've given Donald Trump, right? So for, along all of this, because I think it's really important to know who we can trust and what makes us feel comfortable. And food, safety, shelter, toilet paper, we're learning what the things we feel like are the inner needs for all of us. And I think we're finding a humanity in all of this across from Catonsville to Frederick up to Hampstead. I mean, Middle River and Essex. I've talked all over the community here this week. Downtown, it's the same story. It's a story about community, right?
Absolutely. Catonsville is a little small community. It's a little unique. It's just a little hub, and a lot of people call it Little Mayberry, and there is a lot of people that I went to elementary school with that I still am friends with, and know a lot of people in the area, and they really have just supported my family, supported the business, they supported the law practice, and I'm very grateful for everybody who's done that, and all the communities surrounding Catonsville as well have supported Franco's and my law practice, and I couldn't be more thankful for all of that. And I hope we just keep it up and keep it going, and we're going to keep giving it every effort we can to sustain everything as we know it.
Lou Weinkamp's here. He is over in Catonsville. He's making pizza. Full menu, most of and hours. Give everybody the lowdown on what they can do at Franco's before I get into the heavy lifting of we'll get out of the toy department of good pizza and start talking about some real issues that I know you're helping people tackle during the pandemic. But hours is still everything normal. Lunch, dinner, the whole deal.
Yeah, we're doing everything stand up. We're open from 12 to 8 now.
Okay,
and full menu and. The pizzas have been a big seller. The bookie salad's been a big seller. But if somebody wants anything on the menu, we should have it. For the time being, we're just going through our inventory, but we're pretty well stocked up on everything. And we have curbside, so we're really stressing, if you call in, give us another call when you pull up on the curb, and we'll bring everything out to you and get you taken care of at any time.
Yeah, worst part right now is being all sequestered down here. I've got your Google thing up, and people put the pictures up of their own pizzas and stuff. Because I do this all over the world when I go eat places. It's how I made my way around Tokyo trying to find good food. Man, it's just... I got to get over there. That's all I'm saying. I'm seeing pepperoni bubbling up. All right, let's get, away from the food and away from Franco's and even Catonsville, but just more on a general framework. You're one of the people that are the serious people in life, right? I lost my mom 2.5 years ago. I'm still fighting with the state people. You're trying to get me in to see you. We elbow bumped a couple weeks ago. Now I probably need to Zoom up with you or get on a real phone call about what I'm dealing with, where I feel like I was lied to by the nursing home. You know what I mean? That, we've got the bill. We've got that. I don't understand Medicare. I don't understand Medicaid. I have all of these things that literally 2.5 years after my mother's death, I'm still dealing with the government. The woman that was working in Annapolis isn't there anymore. Mueller sent me out to the county because it was a county issue, and the county said, not us, it's Annapolis. Annapolis said, go get an estate person. I got an estate person. He screwed it up. It's really amazing when you're doing things left-handed, whether it's wearing a mask and trying to keep bacteria out of your house that could kill you in a pandemic, or whether it's just trying to get a will, because I'm assuming I can Google some will form, fill it out, bring it into somebody like you, and maybe I would have a will, maybe I wouldn't, and if I die, my wife would have to find out whether I have a legitimate will. I'm at the point in my life where I need a guy like you, and there's a lot of people out there that need a guy like you or a gal like you or someone like you that they can trust. Give me the lowdown on what you do, because I know we went over it through a pizza, but I think a lot of people, and I've had a dear friend of mine, Mark Miller, and Todd Schuler come on, they deal in personal injury, and that's such a special. You get in a car accident, you got injured on the job. That's what they do. If I call them about other things, they refer me to other people, and I think a lot of people drive by an attorney and don't really know what that person does unless they've met him at a networking event or something, right? Because it just says attorney on the outside most of the time, right?
Yeah, you are 100% correct on that, and that was one of the things that I referenced earlier about how a lot of people come and say, yeah, I'm going to come and see you, but they don't because they put it off. Other things happen. It's just not a priority. And then if they're going away on a vacation or some catastrophe happens, like recently with the United States, they start to wake up and say, hey, I need a will, and everybody always thinks of a will. and that is a primary thing to have. And I do primarily it's what I do. But there's also I have like an estate planning package, which is the will, the power of attorney, and the advanced care directive. And then we package it up at a price that's reasonable for people to come in and do, so everybody's done. And Nestor, I'll say that people think of wills, but I feel like the most important document is the advanced medical directive. And the advanced medical directive, the reason why I think that's the most important is that affects your quality of life when you can't make medical decisions for yourself. And this document says how you want to be treated, what you want to have done, and who's going to make that final decision. If you don't have a will or you don't have a power of attorney, you're dealing with money issues. And, when you get to a certain stage of your life, you realize that money is not the most important thing, but your health care is. So those are the three things that I recommend as a package. One of the things that I do that a lot of attorneys don't do is I do a lot of deed preparation. And the deed preparation I do is mostly in regards to life estate deeds, where somebody is trying to protect their home, and maybe it was relevant in your case, where somebody goes into a nursing home, they can set their deed up so that it's protected from the nursing home, and the nursing home can't attach it if they were to enter the nursing home. So, and there's a couple.
Well, you really don't have a choice when your mother's 98 years old, like my mother was, right? The choice has been made for you when you can no longer care. I mean, I learned this the hard way.
Correct. I guess, and I'm not knowing your situation, but like, for example, if your mom, when she was 93, had done a deed, then we could have set the house up so that the nursing home was not involved with that, and then she still gets the same share that she gets. So there's a lot of people that come in and they don't understand the deeds, and I do reference that because that's a topic that a lot of, like you said earlier, people don't understand what attorneys do or why, how, and when. But
well, you're only going to die once, and your spouse is only going to die once, and your parents are it's not something anyone wants to think about or has any practical experience navigating, literally, right? Like, I've never flown a plane, and therefore the first time I fly the plane, I probably wouldn't be so good at it.
Well, I totally agree with you, and I kind of look at it like raising kids. Once you learn how to do it, then there's nothing left to raise anymore, and they're already off. So the same with estate planning. Once you go through it once, you really, there's nothing else to need it for down the future. But I think kind of the distinction that I try to make in my practice is, and you referenced it, there's forms, is I try to put a personal touch on it. I try to make sure I ask the questions so they're not just filling out a form. We make sure that we fill it out properly, make sure we ask who's going to be the backup, what happens if this person passes away.
And man, you're asking really tough questions, right? Like, if I'm on a ventilator in 6 weeks because of this, does my son make that decision or my wife? Or right? I mean, these are literally really, really tough questions when the door gets shut. They're so tough that, Lou, when I see you over a glass of wine or two and a pizza, and I'm like, hey, I'll come see you, wink, wink, yeah, I'll come see you, then you start to, it's a little bit of a morbid thought to come see you sometimes, right?
Well, that's exactly what happens, and just in any cases where we'll talk about it, and then it'll slip away from your mind, and then maybe something happens, and it says, "Oh, I better get that done." But it is tough, and what I do is I do send them out to people for pre-approval, and I ask them to read it in their comfort of their own home, so they take their time, they're familiar with it, and then when they come back in, I go over with them line by line to make sure that they're signing the exact what they want and make sure their wishes are being carried out, because I feel it's an important part of, you're asking about what we can contribute to society, and I feel like that's, I make my living out of it, but I also contribute in a way so that people are knowing that, in the end of the days, they're going to get the treatment that they want, they're going to be in charge of it, and they've designated who's going to make those decisions, and it gives them a little level of comfort at those moments.
Well, hey, I'm digging where you're going with all this. You can find Lou at Weinkam.com. That's Weinkam. Of course, his family known in Catonsville. And if you are familiar with Franco's, you can get a pizza and estate planning to go.
Yeah, we can do it all. I've been there a lot lately. So if you need a question about the will and I'm standing there, if you're 6 feet away, you can scream it to me. I'll be glad to answer your question.
Well, and obviously, give the phone number to 410-744-3256 if you're up for the law side of things, and you do have. And Lou, I should say, if you have time on your hands, right? Like I think everyone has some time on their hands right now, and from back to the pizza business and back to any restaurant business, and I think where this whole thing started, which is this: we're all navigating something new right now, right? And I think it's forcing all of us in some way to improve or perish, right? Like we have to improve our sanitary. We have to wash our hands. We have to wear a mask. We're going to have to do all of this, or there's going to come a cost for all of that. But I think from a business standpoint, I found so many people being challenged for their business, and for the most part, most of them built something from nothing, right? Like literally, I think about my first week in radio and what my challenges were, and my challenges now are small compared to trying to build this boat, right? and I think for anybody that's ever built whatever their boat is, this sucks. It's terrible. It's new. It's awful. But it's also, hey, man, I made it this far and I figured it out. How do I figure it out again? And I think it's brought out a little bit of an A game in everyone who will navigate this and will survive this for their business, for their family, for their health, that all of us have had to be a little bit more serious about things. The party's over for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there's no question that that's on my mind. It's I'm one of this kind of, I feel like I'm kind of a grinder. And so I just want to keep grinding through this to, get it done for the employees, get it done for my practice. So when we come out of here, we'll be stronger, and just keep doing the best job we can, both at Franco's and at the Weinkam Law Practice. That's where I'm heading.
All right, what's your favorite pizza? I mean, like if you're going to tell people to come in and get one thing. And one thing that I've never had, because you already made me a white pizza, and I'm not a white pizza guy, but I dumped some sauce on it, and I loved it, and I'm not going to tell you that, but I did, because I like red sauce. But it was delicious, and I heated it up I have a stone in my house, so, like, I can bring your pizza home and get it, get my oven up to 475, get the stone hot and put it in there, and I can get that cheese to bake up right and get, So I love bringing pizza home, but like give me something at your place that I haven't had that I would be like, wow, I want to get that when I come out there and carry out next week.
Well, the most popular pizza is a classic pepperoni, but I would say probably one of the best ones that's different is the shrimp scampi pizza.
Oh.
Sounds a little odd, but
no, not to me.
It's absolutely delicious. And I can't not go wrong with recommending the bookie salad. That's all I ate for about 5 years before I owned Franco's. When I went there for lunch, that's all I ate. I didn't even know what else.
They saw you and just it's the Lou. Is that what we're going to call it?
Yeah, and I would hold the meat and cheese on the side, and they automatically would say, "Look, no meat or cheese on the side, okay." And so they kind of knew me from that perspective. And a lot of people were shocked when I bought it. They said, "What's your favorite meal?" And I said, "Honestly, I don't know because I don't eat anything but the bookie salad." So I've been trying to test out a couple meals, and the one that we had a taste at Catonsville over here in February, and the shrimp and crab pomodoro is off the hook delicious. And I don't like to try to brag on my food because there's some meals.
No, you have to brag on your food. It's your food.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, but I honestly, some of the things I think we're only okay on, but the shrimp and crab pomodoro, I don't think anybody would be upset if they got that.
Well, my wife. You're a shrimp guy, right? My
Absolutely.
wife doesn't like shrimp or crab, so this is great because if I get it, I get to keep it all for myself, right? So I don't have to share it, which is cool. So
yeah, on the chicken, if she likes chicken,
she'll eat that.
Chicken arancini and chicken Franco are two of our popular meals. From
God,
that
I'm
side
so
of it.
hungry right now, Lou. You're killing me, man. I'm sitting here. I'm looking at the veal salt and boca. I'm looking at the cacciatore. Wow.
Text me and I'll have it ready for you whenever you're ready.
All right.
Let me know and we'll take care of you.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm losing weight during this thing, which is like I don't know. I'm going to put that out for the Cosmos on Facebook and out on social media to say, are you gaining weight or losing weight 3 weeks into this thing? I'm losing weight, which just means I need to eat more. I need.
Yeah,
all I'm doing is talking to restaurant people who want to feed me. I'm losing weight. How the hell am I doing this, Lou? I don't know.
Yeah, that is unusual. I think that's probably you're in the low percentile of people who've actually lost weight during the doing these.
I go for pizza right now. I mean, I'm looking at I'm looking on the Google Maps, and somebody did put up the pepperoni pizza, and it just looks like something I want to like jump into the screen and just and eat. Lou, take care of yourself, all right? I mean, stay safe out there for everybody, Franco's, everybody in Catonsville. Love what you guys do. I think we're at the beginning of hopefully a beautiful a friendship relationship. I know Don has loved you and your family for years, and we're all sticking together through this thing. So go get some pizza out of Franco's. If I haven't made you as hungry as I am right now, I probably did. You have capers. Capers are my favorite thing. Lou, I didn't eat a caper in my life till I was probably like 42, 44, and I'm 52 now. It's something wonderful about discovering things later in life that, like capers on stuff. How did I not eat a caper the first 40 years of my life?
Yeah, well, I was like that with lima beans. I couldn't stand them when I was little, and now it's my favorite thing. I don't know why taste buds change, but you're right, they do. And, capers, we do. We have everything, any kind of Italian specialties down there. I forgot one other thing, calamari is excellent down there, and it's a popular order. So, yeah, anything that you want.
My wife would get the chicken piccata. That would be her. The white wine, the lemon, the capers, that's where she makes her own version of that, so she'll always compare it to other people's. And everybody sort of makes it a little different, so it always comes a little different. So, yeah, chicken piccata, that's what I'm going to get her. How about that?
That sounds like a winner.
All right, well, take care of all the people out there with the wills, all the estate stuff going on. If you got a little time on your hands, you're there. You're going to stay planning in a pizza to go. Catonsville, Weinkam, you can find them there out on Google and at Franco's as well. Take care of yourself. Stay safe, all right? Lou, thanks for coming on, bud.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Appreciate the expertise, the wisdom as well. We're going to get wisdom from Baltimore business owners all over the community. If you haven't heard, we're sort of trapped in. There is no more sports. Or as Ekman would say, there ain't no more sports. We're keeping calm. We're staying local. And we're staying Baltimore positive. We are WNST.net, AM 1570. Towson, Baltimore. Hang in there and stay safe. And I didn't tell Lou, wash your hands.